Current events, January 5th, 2026. This is the foundation. How y'all doing? I trust you guys had a great weekend. Luxurianism, U.S. unemployment surge incoming. Y'all hear Trump stole a married couple? He did. Trump stole a married couple. And China locks down silver. They actually did it on January 1st. This is current events for January 5th, 2026. I am Sot L, seeker of truth L, speaker of truth L. And let's do a dance. Let's jump right into it. Why not? Be sure to check out welcome to the foundation.com. Sign up for the email list. Put it in right here, your email. You see that? Boom. Also, we have a bunch of information, educational materials. We have a PDF section, but we also have this new key where you can sign up for trustee training. We do have an offer currently, half off your sign-up fee for trustee training. You got to email us, admin@welcometothefoundation.com or support@welcometothefoundation.com. Currently, we're just going to be honest. Let's be honest. It's a celebration. It's a wonderful celebration because it's actually tomorrow. So technically it's tomorrow, but the foundation is 10 years old. It has been 10 years that we've been teaching, trust education, trust administration, how to build your LLC, how to start your business, really just how to do what you can do today, tomorrow, the next day to be more responsible with your assets, with your finances, mitigate taxes, legally avoid taxes, which is what most people are into. But, this trust for us is the foundation of a family. It's the foundation of family wealth. It's the foundation of your family. It also keeps a record and history of your family. It was where you keep your family creed. It was where you keep your family mission statement, your family vision statement, all of the history of the family members, not only ones that administered the trust as trustees and beneficiaries, but the entire family, the record. It's a private record. A trust is a private record of your family, not just of finances. People, just they think assets and they think taxes and they think, currency, but it's the history of your family. So due to the fact that, and I've got to figure this out, we are at our 10-year anniversary. We are going to give away one completely free, no cost, trustee training to one of you lucky listeners. So if you would like to enter to win and receive your free full-fledged trustee training, unlimited, you see how it's so-and-so a month, $49 a month, $29.99 a month, unlimited. Until the wheels fall off the foundation. The life of the foundation, you will have a lifetime trustee training account access and education. Lifetime of the foundation, not your lifetime of the foundation, which is going to be a long time. Full-fledged. People will ask, well, what tier is it, Sot? It is the silver tier. It is a free silver tier membership, no monthly, no sign up or startup fee. I'm just going to say, we'll say the third person to email me at admin@welcometothefoundation.com and put in the description, the subject line, free training. You don't have to say peace. You don't have to write anything. You don't have to say hello to me. You don't have to say anything. The third person who emails me at admin@welcometothefoundation.com, all you have to put into the subject line of the email, you don't even have to add a body, free trustee training. Third person will get a free silver tier trustee training for the life of the foundation. Life of the foundation. No joke. No extra fees. No, we gotta charge you for shipping. We gotta charge you for this manual. Nope, none of it. Not one dime. Not one red cent. Absolutely on the house. It's to celebrate our 10-year anniversary of the foundation. I love it. It's a beautiful thing. So with that being said, let's get into the current events. Venezuela's Nicolas Maduro arrives in New York after capture by U.S. forces. They went and snatched this man up. I saw a video where he was saying he's waiting. Don't take too long. Come get me, coward. And then I saw, a clip of him coming down it was probably one of these clips, coming down the stairs of an airplane, man. So hours after a dramatic military operation ousted Venezuelan leader Nicolas Maduro from power and removed him from the country Saturday, President Donald Trump said the United States would, quote, run, end quote, Venezuela at least temporarily and tap its vast oil reserves to sell to other nations. What we are witnessing, in my opinion, this is my opinion. I'm not an attorney. I don't give legal advice. I don't give social advice. I don't give cleaning advice. I can't give financial advice, trading advice, none of it. None of it. This is just my personal opinion. What you're witnessing is the death of globalism, ultimately. And I'm not saying like, there's not going to be any global trade. I think the European Union days are numbered. That's just me personally. I believe the days of, all this trade between nations across oceans freely is over. If you got, there was pirates. They said they were Somali pirates. They were stealing tankers. But now you have straight up sovereign nations, administrations, and military taking tankers, oil tankers, as well as taking the president and his wife, married couples, stealing married couples from foreign nations. I believe that this is to secure oil production. If there's any other types of rare earth minerals, I'm not sure. I know there's a lot of silver in Venezuela. There's a lot of oil in Venezuela. And from what I understand, it's the most oil reserves in the world in Venezuela. The largest regional power, the largest power in North and South America is consolidating its regional resources. That's what I see happening, which leads me to believe that we're seeing the death of globalism. Nations are securing resources closer to home because they see what's coming. We all know what happened. We heard this. I know you heard this over the weekend. He arrived in New York. U.S. will govern Venezuela until there's a proper transition. I don't believe that the United States is going to just take the oil, sell it, and keep all the profits. I do believe that there's going to be some sort of profit split, profit sharing. I'm under the understanding that a lot of that infrastructure down there was built by United States companies, corporations, interests, etc. So I don't think it's going to be a just straight jack move with regards to, the crude oil. But I mean, this is serious. This is something that I can't recall if I've ever witnessed anything close to this, so close to home. like in the Americas by, the United States. I'm sure you have Canada, Mexico. I'm sure there's a lot of countries that are looking at this and wondering if they're next, maybe preparing so they won't be next, maybe making back channel deals with other nations. Who knows, man? I just know that this is the beginning of an escalation, or the continuation of an escalation that began a long time ago, if you understand. And I don't see this tamping down anytime soon. I think we need to look at, being prepared for power outages. A lot of the power equipment and infrastructure equipment in this country comes from China. If they're kill switches, I don't know. Who knows? This could, who knows? A lot of most all of electronics come from China. China's locking down. They're locking down a lot of stuff. If you have electronics, you see, if you've been looking for a new computer, new laptop, maybe a new phone, you see that the phone, if you can spend $1,500, $2,000 on a phone in 2026, that's crazy. On a mobile phone, mobile device, $2,000. That's crazy. And we're just going to see that increase over time. If you have stuff, you have electronics that work, take care of them. Take care of them. I would suggest that you hold on to specifically your electronics for as long as you can. Take care of them. If you don't have silver, if you can't get your hands on silver, I say you get your hands on silver. Despite Venezuela, forecasters say 2026 will be the cheapest year for gas since the panorama. So I think this is kind of angled in a way to where, Venezuela, is maybe offline, but despite them being offline, we're still going to see the cheapest year for gas since the panorama. I want you to understand that the United States is going to be the first. They tried to get me. Does this work? You see what I did? We'll be the first to get, to grab the gasoline, the oil. So, gas futures, oil futures, they're doing different things. The gas pump has emerged as a rare source of relief for Americans drowning in higher prices. And that positive trend is expected to continue in 2026, regardless of the uncertainty in Venezuela. If that forecast, shared first with CNN, proves accurate, 2026 will be the fourth straight year of falling prices at the pump, and the first with the annual average below $3. Sounds like great news. Sorry, California, I don't know what to say to y'all, man, but California's looking at $5 a gallon of gas for next year. What are y'all doing? What's happening in California? Why did so many people leave California? Why is there so much homelessness in California? Why are there so many vacant and dilapidated homes in California? Some areas of California look like Detroit. What is happening in California? You have entire studios leaving California. I wish. They tried to get me again. I wish I understood this. California could soon be running short on gasoline, potentially hiking some of the highest prices in the country. Refineries in the state have been closing for years, with 2 more set to shutter soon. Why? What is happening? A Los Angeles refinery at the end of the month and a Bay Area one in April. Together, the 2 refineries provide about 17% of the state's supply of gasoline. California, why are y'all shutting down your refineries? Y'all gas prices have been high since the 80s, man. California drivers already pay 50% more than the rest of the nation. It would seem to me like the landlord of California just don't want no one living there anymore. Have y'all ever lived in a place where the landlord just wanted y'all out? I mean, I lived in a lot of places when I was coming up, poverty, but have y'all ever lived in a spot where you just know the landlord didn't want you there anymore? This is what's up with California? Why? Why would you let them close? Quote, the loss of the refineries are certainly going to result in California having much shorter gasoline supplies. Well, the price of gasoline in California will rise on a sustained level because it'll have to attract imported gasoline month in and month out. They don't want y'all in California anymore. When you have 10 refineries and 2 are down for planned or unplanned maintenance, it's no big deal. But when you have only 6 and one of them is down, you're in trouble. It's then a market that can easily go to $5 to $6 a gallon. Only Hawaii, which gets most of its gasoline delivered by ship, has a higher average price for gas than California. That makes sense. I mean, California's straight up connected to the mainland. California is not like the United States. They're serious about suppressing carbon. Oh. That's why people are leaving California. CLOSA expects the national average to fall to $2.75 per gallon, while California's prices will either remain near its current 2025 average of $4.64 or climb higher. Where the rest of our country will probably see lower prices in 2026 than 2025, I wouldn't bet that'll be the case for California. Ouch. Wall Street rallies amid energy surge after Venezuela strike. I wonder why. Wall Street main indices surged today with blue chip Dow hitting an all-time high on a boost from surging financial stocks, while energy firms rose after a U.S. military strike that captured Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro and his oil and his wife. Investors bet the move against Venezuela's leadership would allow American firms to access the world's largest oil reserves. You guys see what's happening, right? I've seen AI videos of people celebrating in the streets. I've seen AI videos of people being angry in the streets. I don't know what to believe anymore. I'm being facetious, but I think we're getting to that point. Of course the market would respond positively to this. Why wouldn't it? It's kind of, the reverse of what most people would think. Why China plans to tighten silver exports from January 1st and why it matters. There we go. This is what's happening. China will begin stricter controls on silver exports starting January 1st. That was over. We've been past that. It's a significant shift for a metal that was earlier treated as a regular industrial commodity. It is no longer treated as a regular industrial commodity. It is now on a critical minerals list for the United States, along with gold, copper. Y'all seen the price of copper lately? The move is expected to affect global supply chains, especially the United States, where silver is widely used in industry and defense-related manufacturing. So, y'all remember the Cold War? I don't. I remember hearing about it. But y'all remember the Cold War? So if certain supplies, and necessary materials are not able to be sourced in order to continue the growth of the economy, the growth of manufacturing, and the growth of commerce, slowly countries and their GDP begins to be affected. I don't know if you know, but silver is used in almost every electronic component that you use. Probably every. A little bit of gold, but silver and copper. Every from the thermostat that you use to heat or cool your home, to the Ring camera that you have that you can see out your door. If you have any type of solar panels or silver in those, you should really do an internet search as to how many products contain silver. I really think you should. And I really think that you should extrapolate a silver shortage 5 years, 10 years, 15 years out, and try to imagine how that can affect the entire nation. Is this going to be, I don't think that the United States is going to allow itself to be crippled over a long period of time. The United States believe that they're too strong. Their military is too strong. They have too much power. So no one, or no nation specifically with power is going to sit there and watch its power dwindle and not do anything about it. This is why you see Venezuela. You should also do an internet search, with regards to how much silver and silver deposits are located in Venezuela. Then maybe these things will start making sense. Tesla CEO Elon Musk reacted to the news over the weekend on a social media platform. He responded to a post discussing China's upcoming export rules. This is not good. Silver is needed in many industrial processes. He needs silver for every single Tesla model, whatever, that comes out of those factories. This is a big thing. U.S. on verge of unemployment surge that forces Fed to slash rates. What is this? Market watchdog. The U.S. economy is facing a world of trouble in 2026 with the likelihood of a sharp contraction in employment that will weaken the economy and force the Federal Reserve to respond with dramatic rate cuts. This is David Rosenberg, the former Merrill Lynch economist, who since 2020 has run his own firm, Rosenberg Research. Nice little plug they gave him. The big surprise will be that this labor market is not cooling. Excuse me. He said in an interview with Market Watch, it's contracting. The unemployment rate has risen to 4.6% in November from 4% at the beginning of the year. Rosenberg thinks it will soon break above 5% and quite possibly test 6% by the end of the year. Despite a long-running government shutdown in 2025 that resulted in gaps in official economic data, it is clear from the labor market reports that have been released that cracks are emerging. A recent report showed the rate of layoffs in October rose to 1.2%, the highest in the year. While this is still low, it shows a bottom has been hit and the trend points higher. Quote, the firing trend is on a gentle uptrend, Rosenberg said. He said the hiring rate has plunged like a hot knife through butter. So slowly, more and more people are being laid off and fired, and no one's getting hired. No one. And relatively speaking, connotatively speaking, no one. Of course, there's some people being hired here and there, but it's not like that. It's getting so bad. You know, Hollywood stars, Mickey Rourke wrestling with bills, appealing to fans for help on back rent. This is a Hollywood movie star. He looks a lot different than he did when I first, knew who this guy was back in the 90s because he was cool with Tupac. But apparently he started boxing and then had face injuries and then had surgery to fix the face injuries. He looks a lot different. But Mickey Rourke, this guy, and anyone can have financial problems. I'm not picking on this man. There's a lot of people who, aren't good with their money. But it's something to be said, This guy has set up, or his management has set up a GoFundMe. A GoFundMe. Oscar-nominated actor and brooding 1980s heartthrob Mickey Rourke fell thousands of dollars behind on rent. My man's don't even own, maybe he doesn't want to, and asked fans for money on Sunday to help him stay in his home during this extremely stressful time. And me, I think, oh, you fell behind on your rent. I think of an apartment building. This dude's probably in some sort of, who knows, this man might be in a suite. Rourke's manager launched a GoFundMe drive on Sunday to help their client get cash to avoid being evicted from his home due to health challenges, financial strain, and the quiet toll of being left behind. Quote, today, Mickey is facing a very real and urgent situation, the threat of eviction from his home. End quote. According to the online campaign, this fundraiser is being created with Mickey's full permission to help cover immediate housing-related expenses and prevent that from happening. End quote. It's up and down. A lot of people are hurting. Trump postpones tariff hikes on furniture, kitchen cabinets for a year. I'm not signing up. Not paying for that. President Donald Trump has delayed new tariff increases on upholstered furniture, kitchen cabinets, and vanities for a year, pushing their implementation to 2027, according to a White House statement. Man, you can't buy a house, let alone if you have a house, you can't even get furniture, cabinets, or mirrors in them joints, man. Trump signed a proclamation hours before the end of 2025, postponing the tariff hikes on these items, which were originally due to take effect Thursday. In September, Trump ordered 25% new tariffs on kitchen cabinets and upholstery. Why? Those took effect in October. There's a lot of stuff about this man I don't understand. But there's a lot of stuff I don't understand about administering a full-fledged, country or, government. The United States continues to engage in productive negotiation with trade partners to address trade reciprocity and national security concerns with respect to imports of wood products. The Trump administration has come under mounting criticism for failing to stabilize prices, partly due to tariffs imposed on a variety of goods since the president took office in early 2025. Even before the 25% tariffs on furniture, prices had surged because of levies on most goods from China and Vietnam, the top two sources of imported furniture. Who pays the tariffs? Oh, the importers. No. The suppliers? No. The corporate buyers? No. The distributors? No. The sellers in stores? No. They pass all those costs down the wire. So the importers pay them, but then charge inflated costs to the buyers. The large buyers pay for it, but then charge a higher cost to those for selling to, distributors and whatnot. Distributors pay it, charge a higher cost to corporations, companies, firms, mom and pop shops, individuals who are purchasing it. So it's the last person, all the way down to getting into your home or into your garage or into wherever. These prices are passed on to the consumers. I don't know what anyone has been told to think otherwise, but hey, AI-driven inflation in 2026. Most overlooked risks, says investors. Inflation risk underappreciated by markets in 2026. Data centers spree to contribute to price pressures. Investors warn rate hikes to cool inflation will hit AI shares. Okay, here we go. Global stock markets riding high on AI euphoria at the start of 2026 may be disregarding one of the biggest threats that could spoil the party. A surge in inflation driven partly by the tech investment boom. Yes, because it's already hitting consumers like me and you. I'm a tech dude. I've loved computers and network. I do for decades. I'm a super tech dude. So, I get into RAM and processors and hard disk drives, SATA SSDs, NVMe drives, so on and so forth. The price for RAM. And if you have a son, if you're a gamer, PC gamer, you understand what I'm saying. You already know what I'm about to say. The price for random access memory and hard drives are through the roof, man. What I paid, I got some RAM early last year, right around April or so. Paid $200. Nope. Yeah, like $230 for it. Right now, it's over double. I think I looked at it and it was like $480 something for the same exact RAM. And, I got stuff laying all over. I got laptops and different computers, tech dude. So I pulling RAM out, DDR3, DDR2 even, DDR4, of course. But these prices for these components are getting weird. The prices for GPUs, graphics processing units, or graphical processing units, that people use for games, that people were using for mining crypto, that data centers are now using for artificial intelligence. Those things are like $5,000 when they used to be like 800. This is crazy. U.S. stock indices where seven tech groups contributed half of all market earnings this year. Seven tech groups contributed half of all market earnings. That's crazy. Made double-digit gains in 2025 to hit record highs as exuberance about AI and monetary easing also propelled European and Asian equities to record peaks. Expectations for further rate cuts have buoyed bonds too, handing U.S. Treasury investors the best annual performance for 5 years as inflation retreated, although it remains above the Federal Reserve's average 2% target rate. For 2026, waves of government stimulus in the U.S., Europe, and Japan, as well as the AI boom, are expected to refuel global growth. This has money managers bracing for inflation to reaccelerate, prompting central banks to end their rate-cutting cycles, slamming the brakes on the easy money flow into AI-obsessed markets. Quote, you need a pin that pricks the bubble and it will probably come through tighter money, end quote. Yeah, a lot of people making money off of AI. There's a lot of stuff. Micron, which makes RAM and hard drives. They're the main company that creates the brand Crucial hard drives and Crucial RAM sticks. Stopped selling to consumers altogether and went straight business to business. No more business to client or business to customer. There's all of this movement happening because there's this big bet on AI, and that is the things are going to continue as the way they are. There's people who are saying that they may not. What do I know? I'm just a guy. Memory chip makers rise as global supply shortage whets investors' appetites. Shares of the world's top memory chip providers rose today as investors bet on further price gains due to a global supply crunch driven by surging demand for artificial intelligence infrastructure. Samsung's co-CEO T.M. Roh, that's a name, yo. I like it. Described the shortage as unprecedented in an interview with Reuters, echoing peers who have warned that constraints could persist for months, if not years, as the race to build AI infrastructure consumes supply. And you got to understand, every government, China, Russia, United States, India, Britain, all of them, all of these governments, Vietnam, all of these governments, Israel even, are racing to be the first to get, what is it called? It's a type of AI. I can't remember, so I'm not going to sit here with, dead air. But it's like basically self-aware AI. They have different types of AI. They just dropped agentic AI, so they have AI agents. But it's a race to get to this point where AI understands, knows itself, can do stuff, and becomes self-aware, starts making its own decisions. They're trying to create Terminator 2, y'all. They're trying to create Terminator 2. And Schwarzenegger's really young. That dude can't help us this time. They're trying to create Terminator 2. I'm just trying to let y'all know. Tesla loses title as world's biggest EV maker as sales fall for second year in a row. Chinese rival BYD, which sold 2.26 million vehicles last year, is now the biggest EV maker. So we have a changing of the guard as far as the biggest electronic vehicle maker from the United States to China. And last but not least, you may not be surprised, but Minnesota Governor Tim Walz says he is dropping out of re-election. Yeah. Yeah, this guy, the whole Tiananmen Square thing where he said he was there, but he got slammed. I mean, I feel like everyone that could came out and said that dude was lying and he was not in China during that situation. But really, the fraud, the $1 billion fraud dance. That's oof. Yeah, man. He's finished. I mean, as a politician, that guy is finished. You look kind of like a doofus after, you lost the election bid as, vice president with Kamala Harris. That was kind of doofus. But then, there's a lot of fraud happening under your watch, man. So yeah, I don't whatever. Let's see what he said though. Walz, 2024 Democratic vice presidential nominee, cited heightened attention on fraud allegations, as at least he was honest, adding that the political gamesmanship we're seeing from Republican is only making the fight harder to. Oh, you want to blame it on the Republicans? Oh my goodness. But as I reflected on this moment with my family and my team over the holidays, I came to the conclusion that I can't give a political campaign my all. Every minute I spend defending my own political interest would be a minute I can't spend defending the people of Minnesota against the criminals who prey on their generosity and the cynics who prey. Oh, man. I almost threw up on myself, guys. So I've decided to step out of the race and let others worry about whoever wrote this for him. Instead of focusing on your campaign to be the Minnesota governor who would control all of the law enforcement agencies under you, which would directly allow you to defend the people of Minnesota against criminals who prey on generosity and cynics who prey on, what was this man as governor? You couldn't do that? The surprise announcement. I like how it wasn't a surprise, y'all. I wasn't surprised at all. I told you I would try to end off with good news. I would say that's some good news. So, here's how we start off the week. Y'all get ready. Hold it down. Appreciate y'all checking it out. The show, that is. Enjoy yourself. Take care of yourself. Make sure you say 10 things that you are thankful for before you go to sleep tonight and every night. Very important. And I will catch y'all tomorrow on current events. I don't know if I do it. I ain't making no promises. Love y'all. Peace, y'all.